All right, welcome to Masculine Geek number 182. This was to be the live stream AD&D game session 2. All right, AD&D game 2 session 13. However, somebody forgot that we were playing and did not prepare their DM material. We will not name any names, but his initials are Drew Bay.
I didn't forget.
Hang on. All right.
I forgot I was running.
No, that's all right. So that music you just heard was custom designed for Masculine Geek back about a year ago by Mage Wolf. He goes by Mage_Wolf with some numbers. I'll post a link soon. That's on Instagram. But he goes his YouTube handle is his name is Christian Soto. So that is that. So we're gonna segue into, and I need to change our banner. We're doing a impromptu fireside chat where we'll be talking about random geek shit. It's possible that TJ's internet will dive out because he doesn't have enough.
I'm on my phone, and my phone.
You're on your phone? All right. Well, your phone seems to be okay. So let me go over here. You guys.
Yeah, it's the local internet.
That's fine. You can start chatting. I'm going to go over here and change the banner. Make me change this banner, you fuckers.
I got confused. I thought we were I forgot about Rollo's schedule. I thought we were leapfrogging. He did a session, I did a session, and I thought I was getting ready to play as the cleric Grave Argerson and torture some more orcs. Thinking Rollo was DMing. I fucked up.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
He's out and about. He's doing some traveling and interviews and whatnot.
He had a show today. He was guesting on something.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's doing a guest show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, which I haven't got to see yet, but hopefully I'll catch it later.
Back. Yeah, I'll go back and watch it. So there we go. And I know Nick was supposed to have something on Monday, and he got canceled. He canceled himself in some fashion. Mm-hmm. So he's doing the crypto jazz boom hour at 8:00. So he's probably still running. So he's probably most likely stole a few of our watchers. You dirty fucking asshole. But a shout out to Nick. Nick is a good guy.
The boomer hour or the boom hour, as in King of the
probably
Hill?
Both. Probably both, if I was to hazard a guess.
Yeah. Well, he is.
But
down
in either
south,
case,
so.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not a big deal. So we're here. We're going to hang out for about an hour. We'll keep it late because Robert and I are tired. And TJ's on his phone. And Bint hasn't washed his hair in several days. And Drew is an old man that's forgotten the fact that he was going to DM.
I mean, Vince even said, Drew, are you okay with running the game? You're like, yeah.
Yeah, you gave us a thumbs up. You were not.
I was really not reading it. I just thought I was thinking, am I coming to the game? I should have read more carefully.
That's all right.
Everybody has a boomer moment.
All right.
Except me.
Well, you have your own boomer moments. You haven't had them lately, which I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. You're coming a long way there.
So how you doing? Amos, you started a new job relatively recently.
Okay. Can't
No. You do like your basic job, not the others private shit.
Yeah, not the job that you can't associate with.
I'm talking about the grunt work, the 9 to 5 shit that every once in a while you have to go on the road for.
I don't know which one.
not the gigolo one, the other one.
Yeah, not the
grift one.
Not the
No. You
did the solar panel shit, right?
No.
What the fuck am I thinking of then?
No. I was selling roofs.
Roofs, not roofs. Roof? Did you say roof?
Roofs or roofs?
Roofs, not roofs.
As in asphalt shingles.
Oh, okay. Roofs. I thought you were doing solar panels. All right, my bad.
No.
Okay.
If you've ever been in it, I'm the salesman, basically. So okay. I'm the guy. I mean, if you're in the Midwest, you know about it a little more, or wherever you get a lot of hailstorms. I'm the guy that shows up, right after the storm knocking on your door.
Oh, you're one of those dudes.
Oh.
Okay.
Right. But
one of the guys I meet with my Ruger. Yeah, I know those guys.
Yeah. I mean, definitely depending upon Minnesota, you don't really have that issue. It's just depending upon what area you're in. But you're basically just, you go out, you're meeting with people, try to be as friendly as possible. There's obviously a lot of thinking in your feet since anything can happen. You're just talking to people.
Yeah.
People that are just like, hey, no, I'm good. Or people that are like, you're the fifth guy I saw today. Get off my lawn. Okay.
Get off my lawn, you damn kids.
No, you're in Minnesota.
But yeah, and
do you have a Zontigo's near you?
What's that?
Do you have a Zontigo's Mexican restaurant near you?
Yes, I have definitely seen a few of those.
The best fast food restaurant chain for Mexican food.
Really?
Screw you, Taco Bell, for buying them up.
Oh, Taco Bell shouldn't even be on your fucking list, even for Plan D. It's crap. It's like it's cheaper than dog food.
I mean, I can't drink enough and debase myself enough to go to a Taco Bell. I mean, I'm sure Aaron, I'm sure Cappy grabs a Taco Bell on his way to Spirit Airlines,
right?
Because he has no shame.
Don't they serve Taco Bell on Spirit Airlines?
That's probably not for 50 cents. And I can't see
you get a pack of spearmint. You get a pack of spearmint. You don't even get Taco Bell. Yeah. Taco Bell would be an upsell for Spirit. It'd be an upsell. Yeah.
No, but there's another job that I know Vince knows about. Maybe TJ knows about it.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have up to 3 interviews for this one. Tomorrow is the second one.
Oh, okay, cool.
So this is all getting cut tomorrow.
Thank God.
So you're
all right, cool. Congratulations.
Clean yourself up and look like a grown-ass man. Is that what you're telling us, Amos?
Yeah. Supposed to be a pretty good job, and from everything I'm looking at, if I just play my cards right, should get it. It's just the recruiting is taking forever. It's like I'll meet with someone and then I'm like updating them on what's going on, and then I'm waiting like 2-3 weeks to get the next interview set up.
Okay, that's rather grueling.
Now, is this the one you're going to have to disavow any knowledge of us reprobates if you get it?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
It's definitely possible. I mean,
no, you play D&D. What the hell?
Yeah, you just play D&D.
Yeah, just playing D&D, I think is fun. if they're gonna, there's people that are working for this group that are like way more like public in terms of social media and everything. Memes or just edgy type of stuff that will appreciate his humor, and they still work with these people. So I'm thinking they're pretty open on that. They don't really care.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like I did a phone interview, and then tomorrow is a panel interview where I'm interviewed by 2 people. And I think after that it's maybe more people or higher up people or something like that. So.
Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. I could tell you guys exactly what it is after the stream, but not on the stream. So.
No, not a problem. Well, I found out I was banned by another leftist gamer today on Twitter, who I've never interacted with.
Banned from what?
Blocked, I guess, is the appropriate term. So
you're kind of muted, Vince. Just kind of muted.
I'm not kind of. I am. What the? That's been happening to me too. So which one is this?
Something Thaco.
It's that Mary Thaco?
Yeah, Mary Thaco or whatever.
I saw that come across my feed today.
I did that too, and I'm like, she seems like a special snowflake. So I tried to look her up to see, she has, all the pronouns and the proper flags and all the other stuff. And I couldn't find her, and it took me a little bit of searching, and finally I came across something where I could click on a link and and go to her Twitter, and it says you are blocked, and I'm like,
no idea who you're talking about.
It doesn't make this is dumb.
I mean, I have no idea who you are. I mean, she's got more of a receding hairline than probably any of the guys we know in the manosphere, and that's saying something. Right. And but yeah, it's like the Xenopolis Archives guy that has me blocked, and it's like I've never interacted with you either. It's like, and you actually post some things that are relatively interesting to read, but so
they usually have people on lists that are like automatically updating their Twitter to block. Like I
block list.
So like early on, I was blocked by some I guess small-ish. Well, this YouTuber that some people knew about. His name was Steve Shives, and he was like this one part political like he was part of that whole political commentating. Everyone was like talking about SJWs or whatever back in like 2016-ish. But he also did a lot of content on Star Trek.
Yeah.
I didn't even I was like looking through like some Star Trek stuff, and his videos would come up. But because he was just leaning so far to the left, and he was like condemning every other person that I was like looking into, with obviously no evidence or no real, stability as a person. But I think it was because I was following certain people on Twitter that just by default it blocks me. So
gotcha.
Like you could look up like, are you on any block list? And sometimes you'll find out you're on a couple, and it's all because you follow a couple. There's like bots or something that'll search if you're blocked by a certain number of people. But what sucks is if you follow them or if you try to use it, it like says, well, then we have to tweet for you. Like you'll all of a sudden have tweets pop up. Amos is followed by this many people, blocked by this many people. And then it's like, I don't want that showing up.
Yeah.
I show up on some weird fucking lists. I got people that I'm on somebody.
You can remove yourself from that. You can stop yourself from being added to lists.
I don't fucking do fly fishing. Oh, fly fishing and outdoors. So just.
I don't know what list I'm on. I don't know if you write or lists, but that's about it. At least this incarnation of Masculine Geek. But yeah, you can stop that. There's if you go into your settings, there's a way to settings and privacy. You can change that. You change that. See. Well, like I said, I got nothing, so I may make some comments here and there, but.
We can always talk about D&D.
We can talk about D&D, absolutely.
The possibility of eventually running some stuff at a con or producing some content.
Like I said, for Masculine Geek, I definitely have some ideas for content, but TJ and I had created the American Tabletop Gamer Society, and actually the name goes out to TJ because he came up with that. We want exactly. Hey, credit where credit's due, and genius must be.
Appreciate that, Vince.
Of course. So I like the name. The name's good, and it's invite only. We're gonna make it official as far as website, and we did post something on the Masculine Geek Life public facing site, but not much interest. Most people are loath to do things where they're not sure about. So I think what we want to do is schedule something for September or October of this year. Talk was somewhere in Florida, and then, like I said, invite only, and then we sit down with all of us, with Rollo and Drew as well, and we run games. So we could broadcast them too, but it'll be part of our private men's club wherein we do play Dungeons and Dragons and do other things too, as far as fishing and other activities, outdoor activities as well.
I'm working on stuff anyway, so I will, with that in mind, start prepping a one-shot, a tournament one-shot.
Exactly. Yeah. And it'll be a long weekend, like a Wednesday through a Sunday.
Oh, very cool.
And like I said, it'll be invite only. We'll pick a location that we can either rent or get for free. Depends on where we're going, what we can come up with, and then do a little bit of broadcasting from live from it and generate some interest. But I think we have to show proof of purchase before we do anything before that. And I think that'll help generate some interest. But once again, it'll be a private. It is a private men's club. So.
Well, if anybody's watched the D&D, I can't even talk the D&D games that we've been running so far, they have some idea of what they're in for.
Yeah, well, at least the games. I mean, it's more than that, but it also primarily we want to keep it old school AD&D tournament style games. Wherein, say we have, depending upon how many people we invite and accept and come out, we have maybe 2 tables of 5 players each with 1 DM. So there's 6 and 6. So let's say, Drew, you run a game and Rollo runs the same game. And the idea is each group is supposed to get to the objective first, hopefully by the time limit, the time allotted. But if they don't, that's fine too. You're allotted points based on pre-assigned criteria, just like the old school convention style.
Okay, so we would need to provide them with pre-gen characters because
everyone would get pre-gen characters. There would be it would like, all right, well, if in this room, rather than killing the adversary, the monster, you negotiated a little bit first, then you get points or you get subtracted points. Well, you figured out the puzzle and the magic user cast this spell to get you out of this jam, then you get points for that. So even if both parties play the game to the end, but don't make it to the end to complete it, you would add up the points to see who the winner is.
Okay.
I love that shit. That's great. The competition.
What were you calling the organization again?
The American Tabletop Gamers Society. We don't have
of America.
Well, yeah, like here.
No, I know. You've seen Dodgeball, right?
Yeah, it's the American Tabletop Gamers Society of America.
Yeah, the American Dodgeball Association of America.
No, it's already in the name. Thank you. Jesus.
It's like the Department of Redundancy Department.
Right. Dirty
so is Drew planning on running us through what is it, Journey Through the Rainbow Citadel or whatever that new 5e?
No. What we are going to do is assault.
That dude in his pedestal.
Repugnant Citadel. Assault on it is, and I think I want to say Kazmir Urbanski, the RPG pundit, put this best. I think he said it was basically it's like the description of this thing was like a tourist brochure put together by socialists for some third world shithole. Yeah. If you read what has come out publicly about this Radiant Citadel, the whole thing was nothing but a make-work project for no-talent wokesies.
Well, they were all people that have never worked in gaming before.
Yeah, no experience.
Well, Drew,
they don't know what the hell they're doing. It's not even gaming stuff.
Drew, Robert, my buddy Gabe, I was just talking to him on Monday. He said, "Hey Vince, have you heard about WotC's push for the 5.5 rules?" Like, what? Which is completely narrative driven. Yeah, like no, I don't give a shit about that. That's not a surprise.
Sorry, purely narrative driven.
Pretty much.
That's even
the rumor.
A game. It's not even a game now. What it is pure role play, improv theater that loosely follows a plot. That's what they want.
Like I said, it's TNT. It's theater.
Well, if they want to do that, they can go play vampires or werewolves, the old White Wolf version.
There are
although that
already
still had
other
some element
systems.
of game to it.
And I don't want to say that other people are having fun wrong. If they're having fun, great. The problem is that's not D&D. They took D&D and they turned it into something completely different instead of continuing to make an adventure. D&D is a fantasy adventure game that has role playing. It's not a role playing game first and foremost.
It's roll as far as roll the dice.
Yeah, exactly. The whole point of it is the fantasy adventure. Adventure implying that you are going and exploring and putting yourself in danger and taking risks, doing adventurous things, not having like some chili vegan cook-off thing to settle some dispute in a marketplace or whatever nonsense they're doing in this Radiant Citadel shit. And they're talking about
Radiant Citadel,
removing like violence from the game and it just
you're what? It's not
well when you're role playing a barista at Starbucks. I mean, there's only so much you can do in combat events.
There was some talk about no weapons being allowed within this Radiant Citadel.
So what do you do? Just yell? Just screech
it's a
at each other?
sword-free zone.
Absolutely stupid. So the only way
let's
that
throw
I would do
your Terrasses in there and see what happens.
I'm not going to give Wizards a dime. But I am going to see what I can glean about this repugnant, commune is what it is. It's not a citadel. Instead of the Radiant Citadel, we'll call it the repulsive commune because that's what it would be.
Radiant Citadel.
Think about what was that stupid thing that they did in Portland or Seattle. All the dumbasses blocked off some streets, and they had their shitty little garden where they couldn't grow anything because they're all complete fucking morons.
Chaz or Chop, whatever they want to call it.
So basically, the Radiant Citadel is this stupid fucking lefty commie idea of what kind of a utopia would be. But if they actually did it, if they took and they applied all of the things that they are claiming, it would turn into a dystopian leftist shithole in a very, very short time. So what we do is a parody one-shot where it's better escape. Like, remember Escape from New York and Escape from LA? That's what it could be. Escape from the repulsive commune. It's not, because we can't really call it the Radiant Citadel, but people would know what it is.
The Radiant Commune.
There we go. Escape from the Radiant commune.
Escape
and
from
so
RC.
You're stuck in this leftist communist
shithole,
hellscape shithole, and of course it's all these oppressive, regressive wokesies, and you're trying to get out of this place and maybe destroy it on the way out.
I totally agree.
Burn the whole thing down. So I'll find out what I can with it without giving.
We're six magic users with fireballs. That's all it is.
It'll be fun.
Or I mean, to stay within the new ideas, the artificers but with guns.
There you go.
That would probably make if it upsets their fans and their following who actually approve of all this just stupid crap that they're doing with it, all the better. I just want to do something fun and entertaining that mocks all the stupid crap that they're doing. So I just hate what they've done.
That's
so much.
absolutely right, man.
We're just kind of hopping around here. But again, my biggest problem with this is not that it's a different kind of game, because hey, if people like it, if people are having fun playing it, good, great. But that's not D&D. If they wanted to do something different, they should come up with something different and maybe just call it, hey, this is the Radiant Citadel or whatever the fuck they want to call it, and say this is an improv role-playing fantasy game, and then go back to the roots of AD&D or even just the basic, and re-release a fantasy adventure game that is actually focused on that. So that way the people that want that fantasy adventure have the option of playing something that is designed to provide that, because what they are doing now is they're stripping the adventure, they're stripping the danger. I mean, they've already stripped a lot of the real danger out of it. 5e, you're not you're not in a sword and sorcery, weird horror, survival horror situation where you're somewhat regular people going into dangerous situations because you want glory or treasure or whatever. They've turned it into some super heroic, and I hate to even call it a game. It is really more, they're using the game mechanics to facilitate improv theater. Mm-hmm. Really, it's not.
Yeah.
And I was saying this to somebody earlier today. If you take a bunch of players and you make them follow a script without any real agency, without giving them any autonomy, if there's no real risk of them dying, I mean, not the players, but the PCs, you're not playing a game. You're doing theater. So yeah, they shouldn't call it D&D. They've basically turned it into something else. And I want to say it sucks.
Like I said, it's TNT. It's theater and therapy.
Yeah, I want to say it sucks because it's not what I want, but it is. It sucks for what it's supposed to be. It's something else. It's just something else completely. It's not D&D. It shouldn't be called D&D.
Well,
TNT
one of my contacts asked me if I wanted a copy, just to have for my collection and to proof and maybe do a review or something. And I told him, no, I'm not interested because I'd be ashamed to have it on my shelf.
Tell him to send it to me if he's interested, because I won't give those assholes any money. Mm-hmm. But I can use the material to see, just to riff off of, to parody for a one-shot escape from the repulsive commune or the radiant commune or whatever the hell. We'll figure something clever out. But and then I'll pass it on to, if somebody else wants it, I figure just do that, because it's not what I have no interest in that. I have no interest in that kind of gameplay. I would rather, I'm absolutely loving doing the one-y stuff. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think I mentioned this last time. I don't know if I did. I have probably studied the core rule books more over the past few months than I studied any of the textbooks or any of the materials that I had at any time that I was in school. Mm-hmm. And holy crap, it is everything. Once you get, now there are some things that they might have done better, easy to say in retrospect. We've had a couple decades, but there's so much in there that we haven't been doing that we should be, and so many things that are really, really well thought out, and that add so much more depth to the game in terms of strategy and interesting decisions to make. Things like the consequences of weapon speed for supplies and the use of charges, and some rules regarding movement and attacks during combat that we haven't been using. Even I realized I've been running the initiative encounters wrong. I got so used to, I got back into it about 2017, 2018, and I was running a 5e game for all this time, and still haven't gotten my brain back. With 1e, we're not supposed to roll initiative, then have people say, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. Everybody declares their actions. Well, first we determine if they're surprise. And then there's some things that have to be considered with regards to that. Now, whether one side is surprised or both sides are surprised or neither side is surprised, then before rolling initiative, everybody declares what they're going to do. And the DM should already have decided what the NPCs are going to do before initiative is rolled, because that's what they're going to do. They've committed to that. And then after everybody's clear, this is what they're going to do, then they roll for initiative, and then the stuff plays out. And it plays out not in like, well, you go, and then you go, and then you go. It is, we got the missile or the ranged attacks, including some spells, then certain spells, and it depends on the segments that it takes for the spell to be casted and some other things. And I need to just get a cheat sheet with the order just to put up for every time that we run it. But there are some things like with the weapon, and this mainly comes in with a charge, with things like with weapon speed. You see, they've got all this data there on these weapons. Why do they have all these weapon speeds? Why do they have a rate of fire for these different weapons? This is stuff that's supposed to be coming into play during certain situations in combat.
Well, it also comes back to the wargaming roots of the game. I mean, if you can do some things a lot quicker with your daggers than you can if you're wielding a big old pole axe. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. But also, you've got different ranges on your attack for, small, and, it's just short range for your ranged weapons and such.
If you have a longer weapon and you perform something like a charge, you are going to be able to have the hit before people with shorter weapons. That comes into play. But if you are just outside of their range, you can't get to them, and then they are able to then get to you if they have, and hopefully I'm not screwing this up, but if they have weapons, this sounds stupid, daggers versus like pikes or something, but if they're able to get more attacks because they have or if there's a surprise or like a tie on initiative, I think is where the weapon speed comes in. Again, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around all this. I need to put together a cheat sheet for myself. Actually, one of the people in the Jeffros campaign is putting together a flow chart for all of this, which has been just great. I've started with the surprise stuff. But if you get a tie, then it comes down to whose weapon is faster. Everybody attacks simultaneously, but some people are going to hit other people first, I think. And then all the stuff with the segments and spell casting. If a group is surprised, when you roll, one side rolls 1d6, another rolls 1d6. In not every case, but most cases, you're surprised on a 1 or a 2. You get a 1 and 3 or 2 and 6 chance to be surprised. If one of the groups is higher than the other, if you get 1 and 2, both groups are surprised, but the one that is 1, they lost, they are surprised for the difference is 1 segment. So the group that is less surprised recovers quickly and has a full segment, which might as well be a round for the purposes of the attacks, to attack before initiative is rolled. But if you got one group that rolls, say they get a 2, and the other group rolls a 5, the group that's surprised, you subtract that 2 from that 5. The group that's not surprised is going to have 3 segments where they're able to act before the other group can do anything. And then this also comes into play with spellcasters, and this is why you have a number of segments that spells take to be able to cast. If you have something like a tie, there is a possibility, or if you have surprise and you don't have enough segments to finish casting a spell and the other side gets initiative, there are situations where a spellcaster's spell can be disrupted and they're not able to get that off. Anyways, I am probably not explaining this as well as I could. I'm still trying to absorb and really get all this stuff down, but it makes it, and it sounds like it's a lot more complicated. I'm just not saying it very well because I don't understand it well enough yet to be able to explain it simply. But it's really not that complicated. It's just if this, then that. And there's just some rules to resolve these things. Some of it's really situational and you barely ever use it, like what happens on a tie. I mean, if you get 6 and 6 for initiative, you got a 1 in 36 chance of. No, there's not a 1 in 36 chance. What is that? That's a 6 and 1 in 6 chance. Anyways, if you happen to tie, then these things come into play. Otherwise, anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. But all this stuff, the weapon speed, the rate of fire, segments for spell casting, the rules for surprise, and here's the other thing, having to declare your actions before the initiative is rolled also allows for better planning. Okay, what are we going to do? Something like, okay, this guy's going to do spell casting. We're going to form a shield wall to prevent his spell from being disrupted. And how often does anybody form it? If you have individual initiative, okay, on your turn, okay, I'm going to do this on my turn, then the next person, okay, now it's my turn, I'm going to do this. If you're all talking about this and all deciding beforehand, you can say, okay, let's do this together. Shield wall. And just as one example, which is something that you almost never hear about. people doing. A lot of times it's just it's a bunch of different people doing their own thing without a whole lot of, I mean, sometimes, but not a whole lot of coordinated actions. There's just so much that seems to have been lost from 1E to 2E, and then especially.
there's absolutely no doubt about that.
And it's stuff that they never should have cut out, because it makes the game so much more interesting, so much more of a challenge.
Well, the closest to playing the game, as I remember playing it with my friends, was our one-shot game with Jethro. That was as close to what my friends and I were doing as I've done gaming-wise in several decades. And looking back over the books, I have always talked fairly fondly about second edition. But looking back at it now and being a little bit more critical,
that's where Thaco came from.
Yeah, I think part of the reason I remember second edition more fondly than probably I should is the fact that when I started playing second edition, I was with a bunch of younger gamers who had only ever played second edition. I got the second edition books, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm missing stuff. And I pulled all that stuff from first edition that they cut out of second and kind of shoehorned it back in a weird sort of way. So, you know, the fondness I have for second edition is based on the fact that basically I was playing a bastardization of it in first edition. And it was that first edition stuff that was making second edition not as much of a change or a deviation from first edition as second edition really is. There's actually quite a bit of difference between second and first, more so than I usually credit it. And then third edition, something completely different. It might as well be a completely different game.
I've never played the third edition, but everything I've heard about it makes it sound like they try to turn it into more of a video game simulation.
That's more like fourth edition.
Yeah,
I might be getting confused.
I would agree with.
Yeah, that's fourth.
Is fourth the one where they made it really? They
third edition,
no limits to leveling, and you kept adding more and more hit points. You then
well, there's a lot of powers and feats that made a lot of the peripheral or seemingly less attractive classes more powerful and interesting. Mm-hmm. So much so that each power or feat and spell, if you were a spellcaster, had a card to go with it, like a description of it. It was convenient, but as you were sitting there playing the game, it felt like you were also playing a card game at the same time. It's like, all right, well, I've used this, so I can set this aside. Mm-hmm. It's whatever, really. I mean, I didn't mind it too much. I realized it wasn't what I grew up with. I grew up watching the Saturday morning Dungeons & Dragons cartoon. I grew up playing the Dungeon board game with the Errol Otis board game cover. I played Electronic Dungeons & Dragons. I still have my original copy that my parents bought me when I was a kid in 1980. The Electronic Dungeons & Dragons. I started off with the red box set in 1982-83. And then a year or so later, these are my original copies. And I played this until second edition came out. But I've always had a fondness and a sentimentality attached to AD&D. I'm glad that I've come back to it over the years. In my old age, I'm glad that I've returned to my youth and the the fondness that I had for those times. I almost feel like in some ways I'm reliving it, which is cool. Mm-hmm. But I probably will not ever purchase a Wizards of the Coast product again. Now, I know Goodman Games has released hardback versions of a lot of the old basic and expert set, and I have 2 or 3 of those. I bought 2 of myself, and then my buddy gave me one for Christmas. The the pyramid ones. B4, B3, or B4. I have that one. Yeah, keep on the Borderlands. I do have that one. I have the purple one, the
Lost City.
The Lost City. That's really good. That could be an ongoing campaign for a while, with a lot of player creation as you go. It's wide open for a DM to allow for that, which I like.
Yeah.
All right, any mods in the chat? Get rid of this crap. What is this? Block user. Let me do that.
Whoa.
Is Bacon here?
He was here. He needs to get on the ball and start blocking this bullshit. Nick was here as well, making a comment, so he should be. He also has a wrench. You guys also has wrenches as well. Keep an eye on the chat. Every once in a while, we get spammed.
I've tried, but I don't have a wrench.
Yeah, I'm not.
Wait a minute, you don't have a wrench?
No, I don't.
Let me give you a wrench. Let me go do that now.
At the same time that I'm in here, so I don't have. I guess I could just silence it.
Let me give you.
Oh yeah, they all got deleted. Okay.
All right, good. Let me go give you guys a wrench. Thank you, Bacon. I appreciate that. Robert, go into the chat and say something so I can highlight you and give you a wrench. I need to be able to see you. You should, Drew, and I know Amos does.
I can't even tell. I don't know if I do or not. How do
Just drop something in the chat so I can see you on YouTube, and then there you go.
Okay.
Add moderator. There you go. You're a moderator.
So I'm just looking at this. What we need to do, come up with around $400 million to buy up Wizards of the Coast.
I think we can do it. I think not for nothing. I think if we have a Kickstarter, we could absolutely do it. We could. $400 million. I think it's a worthwhile endeavor, to be honest with you.
How is Wizards worth $400 million? I don't think that the talent at Wizards combined would. Oh,
well, they're a subsidiary of Hasbro.
Hasbro now too as well.
Yeah, Hasbro bought them for $325 back in 1999. So
yeah,
they should have fired everybody when they got it.
Well, they hired idiots.
Obviously,
yeah.
I'm the weird one here. Well, I guess I don't know where TJ started, but I started with 5th edition.
TJ started with 5th as well.
Yeah. And while I like it just because that's what I started with, I think it's a lot simpler.
Oh, it's the most D&D the game's been since 2nd edition. I stand by
but
that.
when I look at it,
but only
when I'm looking at the game,
only in
kind of like how I see, stories, the role playing, all that stuff, compared to where the culture is essentially taking it. I'm like, oh yeah, I could see that right away where there was a shift. Like the first campaign I played in, I was playing this paladin who was kind of like, on this quest for but I'm figuring this all out, and then like all the other players,
as you do,
all the other players are goofing around. Oh yeah, these two gnomes are gonna go to the bar and dance for money, and I'm like, I'm gonna go, find stuff, like relics or something, right?
And it's. I'm speechless here. I can't think of anything other than swear words right now. Fuck.
If you play 5th edition and you just have the 3 core rule books, you can still play a really fun game that's not overtaxing on rules and mechanics. The classes have some ridiculous feats, but you as a DM could still roll random encounters and still do things where you're not playing in a pure sandbox where you're having to be amateur community theater director, with all your fledgling wannabe thespians and still do some really nice stuff. The problem is as each supplement has come out, some of them have been, a lot of them really have been adaptations of older things. They're not even new, and that's not. And I'm not just talking about the Goodman game stuff, which is actually, those things are kind of cool just as artifacts of a different time, and are kind of lovingly done. And I'm glad that I've got all the ones. Well, I've got all of them at this point in time. The only one I don't have is the one they just kickstarted, which was based on like a Dragon Age supplement game, a thing that was really popular as opposed to a TSR official product. But several of the 5th edition TSR products have been adaptations of Against the Giants and other things like that. And what is it? Tales from the Yawning Portal, I think.
Tales from the Yawning Portal.
That one has like 4 or 5 different adventures that are based on like 4 or 5 modules from throughout D&D history. Because I think there are a couple that are 1st edition, and then like one that's like 2nd edition, and another that's 3rd maybe. But the point is, once you get into the most recent things, probably the last 2 or 3 things, including the Radiant Citadel, that's what the supplement before last,
Tasha's Cauldron, and
they had the
monsters, the multiverse,
the wheelchair bound character and stuff like that.
But
they also had
Candlekeep or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and the baristas at the fantasy Starbucks and stuff like that. But
I don't know why
had
they ruined Candlekeep
character
with
stats from the
wheelchairs.
Yeah, and
it makes no sense.
They had the toy figure stats, so they had like Strongheart stats and Warduke stats.
What the fuck?
But then they had like
weird?
Thaco the
internet
clown.
probably went out.
Yeah, you want to know what's weird, Robert?
Yeah.
I'm on the Dwarven Forge. Not Dwarven Forge, Hero Forge.
Right.
The ones that put out the 3D characters that you can go on and make your own, and also get the.
Yeah, you can customize your own miniatures. Yeah.
Which I did. I actually created a grot and sent it over to Drew, but he never did anything with it. But we won't mention that. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that.
I thought you put grot in a wheelchair and sent that to Drew.
Well, no, that wasn't available at that point. But in the latest email that I got, I'll see if I can bring it up. They have a series of characters, 3D prints, with them in the wheelchair.
Wow.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, hang on. It defies description. It's the dumbest shit. Let me see promotions.
We need like some sort of like portrait of like my character and TJ's character pushing all of you in wheelchairs.
Yeah, totally. Well, definitely.
Gratz has to have a big stuffed bear in front of his.
I need a bear. Totally need a bear.
So I have an idea. Next time,
badger.
Next time,
and a badger with in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
If I run a different one shot outside of the world that we're in now, we'll go to a dungeon and we will find just inside the entrance of the dungeon a wheelchair with a skeleton in it. And another skeleton holding a blind person's cane. From all the disabled or whatever that decided they were going to take up adventuring and couldn't get past the first room in the dungeon, just to show how it's so. Or if you guys want, we could all. Somebody could be the fighter in a wheelchair. Another could be the magic user with a really bad stutter. You could have the
fireball.
I cast
the stuttering mage.
Yeah. So, we got a mage with a stutter. We got a cleric who's completely deaf. He can't hear when anybody's calling for help. The thief that's morbidly obese, so you're not hiding unless there's a really, really big shadow. We'll give and can't climb even stairs, much less a wall, without running out of breath. So we'll give
the ranger with astigmatism.
Yeah, right. We'll give everybody some Well, these
let me guess. We all came to the adventure on the short one, right?
On the short bus?
You arrive on the short wagon, and once you get to the dungeon, the first thing you encounter is a very steep, narrow flight of stairs.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom of the stairs, there's a very small landing,
Nicholas
and
has
then
a
there's a
question, guys.
ladder, a very long ladder, and we'll just keep going from there until everybody's dead.
All right, so
that
would be cool. All right, so you guys have any good resources for picking up decent copies of the old books prior to 5e? All right, and you're generally interested. Okay, I would suggest, and I'm sure you guys will agree with me, you want to stick with these two, okay? And these were produced and published in the late 70s, 78 and 79 to be exact. So, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons by TSR, late 70s. You're going to go into two places for these. You're going to go on eBay, or you're going to go to Abe Books. And I've mentioned this before. This is where I source all of my archival and old books that you can't find normally. Abe, A-B-E, Books. The word books all smashed together. abebooks.com. And you're going to look for these. I would also check Craigslist. Go to your local hobby shop if you have them. Go to a used bookstore. The used bookstore, secondhand books near me, now has a D&D section, and they have old books. In fact, I'm going to go probably this weekend and pick up an old copy of Unearthed Arcana. But and you can do second edition. I'll send you links to that. I would suggest you stay away from anything after second edition. But since you are genuinely interested, and you're watching us, and we're playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, all you need is the Dungeon Master's Guide. This is not the first printing and not the first cover. This is the second cover edition, one of the later printing covers. And the Player's Handbook. That's all. You can pick up the Monster Manual as well, but these are really all you need to know if you want to follow along with us. These are also two books that TJ should also buy as well, just to have. No, not to be funny, just to have because he's playing a ranger. He's playing an AD&D ranger. He should have these books as keepsakes because he's now embarked on a new hobby. A very well-loved and amazing hobby, to be honest with you. So, yes.
Monster Manual's always
and you
fun
might get
to look
lucky
at
at your local game shop.
It
was just a couple weeks ago that I was down in Franklin at a game shop with one of my kids, and we came across
one of your 12 kids?
Original. Yeah. Well, not quite that many that I know, but whatever.
You never know.
But the original Player's Handbook and original Dungeons Master's Guide, they were like second, third printings, but they had the original cover art for both books. And he got those for under $80 for the two of them. So
you're going to pay $100 or $200.
Yeah,
I would say no more than $200, but expect to pay around that realm, unless you have someone who has that just wants to get rid of them and has really no idea or doesn't care. But yeah, Robert is correct. Head out to your gaming store, comic book store. Also, talk to the owner of these stores and say, "Hey, I'm on the lookout for these. What can you do for me?" And if obviously you're friendly and you're talking, you're bantering back and forth. When they do get them for you, you tip handsomely.
Yeah.
So
don't be a spaz and don't be a schmuck.
Oh, your kids love the Monster Man. Oh, cool. That's something you can definitely bond with them over, and have something cool to almost like you read a monster at night before they go to bed, or like if you're just kind of. It depends on how old your kids are.
The Tarrasque.
Exactly. The Boulet. The Demogorgon. And all that shit.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, they'll just for one book they'll want $80+ So to find the player's handbook and the DM's guide for
it's going to be close
total,
to 2. It'll be about $200.
Yeah,
it's worth it. It's well worth it.
Yeah, but to find them for $80, that's $40 a book, and they were in super nice condition. And to be earlier printings, that was a pretty good deal because, like I said, you could pay that much or more just for one book, and he got 2 of them for $80. So we were pretty pleased with that. I told him if he wasn't going to buy them, I was just on principle because I didn't think anybody else deserved to have them. You know. Oh, I'm like that with certain books. I find copies of like a Star Trek novel, The Final Reflection. I'll pick that sucker up. Doesn't matter that I've already got 20 copies of it in multiple different printings and publications, one of which is fairly rare because it's a hardcover Starfleet edition, blue leatherette binding and everything. They apparently at one point in time published several Star Trek novels in this really nice like archive edition. That's cool. I actually had that book. That is the book that basically broke the mold for Star Trek novels, and after that they employed the Michael Ford rule to prevent Star Trek novelists from ever doing anything that bold, creative, and wonderful ever again in Star Trek novelizations. So he made the Klingons a really cool adversarial race that were more than just let's glom on to feudal Japan samurai culture and apply them to, you know, these villains from the TV series and make them, you know, the grumpy best friend. Klingons in the Final Reflection are very cool. So if you remotely like old Star Trek at all, I highly recommend it.
I would also recommend creating your own. What I mean by that is you can go on. So you can get Mictibus, also another resource. You can get reproductions. You can go into the Dungeon Master DMs Guild.com and you can order the reprints of the first edition AD&D, which is what I just showed you. Obviously, it's a variant cover, which is updated to reflect what you have. Yeah, but you can also buy old modules, PDF versions, and then turn them into hardback editions by going over to Lulu and uploading those PDFs, and like you can combine several modules, like what Rollo's doing with the Slave Lord series A1 through 4. You can purchase. There is a hardback book you can get, but if you wanted to create your own, you could go to Lulu, and you can get one for like $30, including shipping, with a glossy or a matte cover. Yeah, and you can do that with your own stuff. Like if we create, say we do something for Masculine Geek, we all go in on it, and reap the rewards, such as they are. We can create it on Lulu and sell it. So, yeah.
Or just be like me and be the weirdo that decided I'm going to create an entirely brand new world all by myself.
No, that's a good thing, and you can do that with your stuff. I mean, you can take all your notes, put them into a Word document, save it as a PDF, upload that PDF to Lulu, hire someone to do a cover. You know, send them the actual notes and say, "Hey, quickly read this. Contextually, give me a cover." Take that cover in your notes and upload that to Lulu, and then you've got your own hardback. Mictibus, look you. Look. We never said two things. One, we never said we were coming up with a coloring book. Oh, that's kind of a cool idea. I mean, who does not want to color in a TJ and a Rob? Let's be honest.
I was thinking of drawing between the ropes.
Well, there you go.
Cappy tending bar at the Manosphere.
Exactly. You take all the photos that I posted up on Twitter and Instagram. We turn it into a coloring book. Also, the Masculine Geek book is like 20,000 words. TJ and I wrote that, and Rob did a few articles. We kind of have that in the pipeline already. Probably over the next couple years, that will be released in some fashion. It may be one of those things where we produce it and we do go to Lulu and we front the money up, and we say, all right, here's 10 copies, and they're going to be signed, and then that's it. They'll be given out as rewards for signing up for a newsletter or just part of Masculine Geek life. We'll see. So just to have, 200 years from now, somebody digs up, someone's backyard and finds this and like, oh shit, this is kind of Masculine Geek. What? Who knows? It's kind of fun to think about. Kind of a romantic thing. But that'll come out eventually. There's things in the works. So
I'm feeling lazy. I got like 3,000 words in mind so far, and that's it.
That's it? Well, you're getting there. It's 3,000 more than a lot of people have.
3,000 more than zero. So there's that.
Exactly. I mean, if you were to do 500 a week, right? That's 2,000 a month. That's
doable.
What? That's 24,000 words a year. So in a year, you've got your book. Mm-hmm. So if you look at it that way, you put in the discipline. You could totally do 500.
So 20 to 25,000 words. How many pages is that?
That is, ebook wise, I'm not sure, but printed, it depends on the size. A large hardcover is probably about 40 to 50 pages, maybe.
Large
pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the pictures you put in it, the maps. I'm assuming that would be a big part of it as well. I mean,
yep.
Drew's probably just counting pages that are written and not the maps and the photos and the drawings, which he'll surely have.
Quite a bit of that. Well, fingers crossed. Art is not cheap. So I'll have to see what I can do for.
There's some people I can put you in touch with. And Mictobus, that the Masculine Geek coloring book, we're going to dedicate that to you.
Mm-hmm. We'll all sign it in crayon for you,
right? And on the back, we'll have a picture of Bullrush's face
as a dartboard, or
yeah, with the bullseye around it.
Yeah. Bullseye Bullrush. I like that.
There you go.
Which writing group? The new writing group that I created, Mictobus, the writingbuddy.co? I actually created a disciplined writing group called writingbuddy.co. It's essentially, we meet once a week. The first half hour is where we talk and go over our writing and just kind of bullshit. And the next hour we write together.
So it's live like an accountability?
Live on a Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
It's companionship and camaraderie. It's like it's basically saying, all right, I'm dedicated to doing this, so I'm paying.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nominal fee. It's $24.99 a month, and you're sitting down with me. I'm writing with you, and everyone else who joins, and we're sitting there and writing whatever we want. It could be 200 words. It could be 1,000. So let's say you say, Vince, or I'm gonna pay this fee. I'm gonna join. I join the website, create a profile, and I get the notification that every Thursday at 7:00 we sit down for an hour and a half and we do this. Half hour we discuss our writing. We just bullshit. An hour we write. Accountability and discipline. All right, I'm gonna sit down.
Discipline, I've got to have clarification, because when you say discipline, it could mean multiple things.
Well, that's not Masculine Geek life. This is writing. Yeah,
I know.
Correct. I'm not going to beat you. You're not coming to my house and beating you.
That costs more than the.
That's more than $24.99. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. So we sit down. We sit down and we write together every week. So, okay, maybe I do 250 words. 250 times 4 is what? Or 250, 250 times 4 is what? That's 1,000 words a month.
Yep.
You're probably going to do more than that, and it will vary from week to week. Well, so let's say on average you do 500. You're disciplined. You're sitting down.
Let's say you do 1,000 words a day.
Well, no, what I'm saying,
right?
well, you can do that, but what I'm saying is for this program, once a week with me, you sit down and you write for an hour. And let's say, TJ, we'll take your idea and we'll say, I'm going to sit down with you, Vince, writingbuddy.co, and I do 800 to 1,000 words. Let's say I do 1,000 words on every Thursday. That's 4,000 words a month. I help, and we all help keep each other accountable. That's 1,000 words a week, 4,000 words a month. 48,000 words a year. You have a short novel, long novella. That's more than you had if you didn't do it. Now, a lot of people say, Vince, fuck you, I don't have the time. All right, motherfucker, how much time do you dedicate every day to television?
The average American, if I remember correctly, 30-something hours.
4 to 6 hours on average a week.
46?
Yep, a week.
That's
so, and the reality is, like, if you're writing if you're getting to the point of what you're writing about, you're gonna write, because it's not just the length; it's how much of that you've written are you gonna have to edit at the end. Because I wrote novels back in the day. You know, my latest one that I'm still kind of going through, it was, what was it, like 215 pages, and I condensed it down to like 115. You get to the point. So it's like, when you learn to write to the point, you don't write superfluously, and you're not writing necessarily to get to a word count. And that's where the word count thing is a little interesting. But my thought is that it's easy to write a short novel if you're only writing, 500,000 words a shot, because you're not trying to write too much. Like 1,000 words is not too much. It's like 3 pages, and then you stop and you don't feel like you have to write more. Because
well, the idea behind the idea I had behind this is a lot of people want to do this, they don't know how to start. And sometimes
they need motivation.
They need to motivate. Well, even beyond motivation, they're kind of motivated. They need the accountability and the discipline. I can't, and I say this on the website, I can't tell you how to write. I can't teach you how to write. But I can help you with accountability and discipline. Not beating you. I can help you with accountability and discipline, wherein you sit your ass down every week and you write as many words as you want. The idea is, the word count is, I'm just giving the word count as a selling marketing point. But the idea is to get you in the seat to write. And sometimes writing together, we don't have to talk. We can talk. It's on Zoom. We can like ask questions in the chat if we want to. But the idea is, there's someone on the other side of the world writing with you, doing the same thing, going through the same process you are. And for some people, they need that. They need that. When I wrote my first novella, I was in Barnes & Noble almost every day for 3 to 4 months. I wasn't talking to anyone. I had my earphones on. I was listening to classical music. But I liked the energy that was swirling around me. To me, that was inspiring. And part of my idea behind the writing group is to help inspire as well. So it's going well. It's going well. I mean, and the thing is, I mean, an hour and a half out of your day once a week, one day a week, when you look at it that way, you're like, yeah, fuck that, I could do that. So that's the idea behind that. You filthy horse.
Sometimes you just have to decide that you're going to write for at least some period of time, and then once you get started, you find as long as people
there's momentum once you go. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, gentlemen, we're coming up on the hour and 12-minute mark. That was fast. That was pretty cool. I was only expecting to go for an hour. We'll go for another few minutes. Anyone else? Anything else we want to talk about? Any geek intel anyone has?
Oh boy.
Anything in the chat? Any questions in the chat anyone has? Whether that's spanking or writing or geek or conventions or anything.
I don't have anything handy, but I got a new animation cell from a Japanese TV series called Sengoku Ganyuden Rai, which is basically kind of a fantastical retelling of the Warring Kingdoms era in Japan as a space opera. It's done by the guy who did Outlanders and Caravan Kid, a guy by the name of Joji Manabe. And it was the animation was directed by a guy named Seiji Okuda, who's a very well-known Japanese director and creator. And I got a new movie poster for a movie Death Ship that I've got somewhat close at hand, I think.
I can sort of help you with that, Mictobus.
But I'm not going to unfold the whole damn thing, but 80s horror movie. So.
Oh, cool.
So
you collect movie posters too?
Yeah, but
okay.
The vintage ones. I want the real thing, not the not a reprint. The only reprint I've got is for Seven Samurai, and that was a gift from someone. So all the other ones I've got, so like my Warriors poster, my heavy metal poster, are all from the 70s or 80s. I also collect lobby cards. I think it's probably easier to ask what do I not collect than to ask what I do. But
yeah, that's in so many things. That's a better question to ask.
Yeah.
So. Okay, cool. I like it.
So that's the only recent thing I've got.
How about you, TJ? Anything to show off?
I'm trying to look. I don't think so. I think it's been not since the last Geek and Tell. I haven't really bought anything especially cool, but see what I can do.
What was the William Marshall book you read relatively recently?
It's called The Greatest Night, which is one of the best biographies I've read ever. It was one of the most accessible, so you really got to read that book. I need to do more podcasts on the life of that guy, because he was such a I thought he was such an amazing guy as like just a human being and all that kind of stuff, but his life was so fascinating. But there was it was one of those few biographies where I was like underlining so many parts of the book, because there was so many life lessons to extract from this guy's life. So yeah,
I haven't read it yet, but I've got the book as well.
I loaned it to a relative, so I don't have it on hand with me. I don't remember.
You're not getting it back,
Thomas,
by the way. You're not getting it back.
He lives a mile away.
It doesn't.
I'll get him.
I lent a book out to a coworker of mine. It was the cover was a Lord of the Rings promo for the movie that came out right before 2001, and I didn't see that for 15 fucking years.
Damn.
Dude,
wow.
Wrap your head around that. And on top of that, when he finally fucking returned it, he's like, yeah, I didn't read it. I'm going to set you on fire, you dickhead.
Dude, I can't believe he admitted that.
Him, right?
Kind of like,
I admired that he admitted it, both of those things. One, I still have your book. It's been 15 years, pristine condition. And two,
you son of a bitch, I read your book.
Right? Bacon.
That's a great line from Patton.
Right? The publisher, TJ and I publish our own stuff. We're self-published authors.
Oh, I was going to answer very carefully.
Well, that too. we're white males. We're persona non grata in the commercial publishing industry.
Yeah. As recently commented on Twitter in several locations.
Oh, I'm sure. Do me a favor, Bacon. Take care of that fucking shit in the chat.
They're just
naked some shit.
Like Bacon.
Jesus, Bacon, you're our band hammer.
No Geek and Tells.
No Geek. I'm very disappointed in you, TJ.
Yeah, it was like Thomas Ashbridge.
Well, there's a couple of antique shops nearby, so I'll see if I can find anything cool worth bringing back. Actually, did I get pause 1 second?
All right.
Did I ever show, I don't recall, but did I ever show this?
Yeah, I remember that. It's because I remember tweeting that exact fucking photo out like about last year.
Right, but did I show it on the show?
So you actually bought it?
Yes, I bought it.
All right, cool.
The problem is the dimensions were all off. There's no frame that matches it, so I got to find a unique one. But yeah, it's cool.
Made.
I'm gonna hang it at my. I say what?
You can have custom frames made. Go down to a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
or art.com.
Yeah,
you can even go Shutterstock or
but,
Shutterfly. Yeah.
This is gonna go on my my gravestone. That's what I did. I rode motorcycles, I drank, and I know things.
Right? Turn that into a t-shirt.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I'll get a t-shirt for that. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a lot better than Cappy's. $20 is $20.
That'll be his gravestone.
There's a lot of things going on his grave. He's gonna have several gravestones.
I say if he dies before us, we do some really fun stuff like Errol Flynn type legend crap with his corpse.
Right?
Yeah.
Just pissing all over the grave.
Weekend at Cappy's.
Yeah, weekend at Cappy's.
He's not gonna be cremated or buried. We're gonna have him stuffed.
Like Trigger.
Fucking taxidermist, yeah.
And stuff him like Roy Rogers' horse.
Yep.
Of course, it's probably not the first time.
We're just gonna sneak him on a random Spirit Airlines flight and just leave him in a seat.
Yeah, just like it's like
in Commando. Put his hat down, put the blanket over him. Don't wake my friend.
Don't wake my friend. Like I must break you.
Yeah.
Did he say he's dead tired?
Yeah, dead tired.
Right. Literally dead tired. That's funny.
Yeah, Commando was all about the puns.
All those 80s movies are eminently quotable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when Arnold was fun and had something worthwhile to say.
Yeah, that fucking dick. Fucking stupid ass. All right, gentlemen. I think we're going to call it because Robert and I are tired and we've exhausted the possibilities of this conversation. If anyone doesn't have any more questions, we're going to end in about 5 minutes. I'm going to give it to 1:25, so 5 minutes for any kind of questions. We'll answer anything. It's an AMA, which are stupid, but we'll do one. We'll do an AMA.
Why not?
Why? Sorry, do it. Masculine Geek AMA. I think they'd be kind of cool. Ask me anything, you son of a bitch. Don't wait. You got five minutes. Pancakes or waffles? I like both. It depends on my mood, really, and what I have on hand. Waffles are cool because you can get the frozen. I mean, you get frozen pancakes too, but I think pancakes are easier to make.
Mm-hmm.
Waffles, you need the fucking waffle maker. So I'm gonna go with if pressed, which you are, you're pressing us, Mictobus. Press. I'm gonna go with pancakes.
I like pancakes, all of them.
Cake, and I actually Mictobus boxer briefs.
Mm-hmm.
I have the mix. Boxers just leave your junk flapping around. I can't have that.
Yeah, I like pancakes or waffles or French toast. Regardless of which ones I have to have bacon and milk.
Of course. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
I have to have bacon and milk.
Pancakes, you have to have fucking milk. Yeah.
I can eat it with coffee, but milk goes good with it.
Yeah, milk. I gotta have a big glass of cold milk over ice and bacon with my pancakes, waffles, or French toast. And I don't make any of them. That's what I have women in my life to do.
Absolutely.
I would love milk if I wasn't lactose intolerant.
Got to take some lactase.
Question from Cancer Mouse definitely needs to be answered. What do you wear a bra when you're mowing your grass? Well, Cancer Mouse, I don't have a lawn, so I can't answer that question. I would assume, judging from your AVI, that you've got a really strong bra yourself. So,
I don't mow my own grass. That's what I have male children for.
Exactly, and I doubt they're wearing bras
or neighbors that would do it for $10.
Exactly, I say the neighbors.
Yeah.
New York or Chicago style pizza? Probably New York.
New York.
Chicago isn't really pizza. It's like casserole on a crust.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fucking bread with some like cheese and sauce on it.
Yeah.
I have smaller than average boobs. I don't know what that means. What is average and what is smaller than? MG, what type of motorcycle do you own? I used to have a 2010 Suzuki Boulevard S40, that was my starter bike. That was a 650cc. I sold that to James Streisand, and I purchased a 2021 Kawasaki Vulcan Custom. That is a 902cc engine.
I used to have a 1970 Honda 360.
Why don't you have one now?
Well, one, if I was going to buy one, it wouldn't be a 1970 Honda 360. I actually had two of them, and ex-wife number one gave them away.
Fantastic. I remember that story from when we had you on as a guest.
Yeah, so. But I don't know.
You're welcome, AC2 RM1. You're welcome. So if you were to get one now, what would you buy?
Triumph would be nice. There are a couple of different ones of those I've looked at that look really nice. There's one I think Rob Says was talking about being that would be something he wouldn't mind getting if he wanted to spend the money on. I can't remember what it was.
We were talking about Indians. I had originally, for myself, had wanted an Indian Scout, but he was also talking about different higher end Indians.
Yeah.
Which are cool.
So yeah, trying for an Indian would be cool. One of the newer ones. Although, God, lately I've been seeing a lot of 3-wheelers riding around, and old guys on them. The ones with the 2 wheels up front and the
the trikes.
Yeah, the trikes. I've been seeing a lot of those on the road lately.
They're kind of cool, I guess. It's funny, in Delaware, you do not need a motorcycle designation or license for that, just a driver's license. I was just talking to a coworker about that, and it's funny because I convinced the wife, like, all right, stop there. You have to stop right there. I was like, go out and buy your trike. You do not ask your wife permission for anything. Jesus Christ, he's a normie.
Yeah.
Fuck. They're everywhere. It's like a fucking. They're like cancer. Anyway, all right. We've got. We've gone past the 5-minute mark. I'll extend it to 1 hour and 30 minutes. So, because I do like the kind of question and answer kind of thing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's nice to interact with the chat occasionally.
What is this? Worst case scenario happens on the road. Arby's or Taco Bell?
Arby's.
I don't understand what the question.
Definitely Arby's.
Yeah.
What does this have?
Well, if you had to choose, if you're on the road and you were hungry, what would you choose?
Oh, geez, Arby's. Obviously, how is that even a question?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's like asking, would you rather have a sandwich or would you rather have your balls hit with a hammer?
Right. Mick DeBus knows me too well.
The question didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Well, the question had to do with the statement of this.
Just trying to.
So.
Well, what the hell is that?
Do you need to put
in the DS world, a common reward to your girl who is doing a good job and being a good girl is calling her a good girl. That is her reward, and she lives for that.
Okay.
So. Arby's makes it's roast beef in a bag. Taco Bell all the way. I don't know.
If you want to pair apples to apples, I miss racks.
You're what, TJ?
I don't know.
I'm gonna head out.
He's going to bed.
Jesus, you have a what are you doing?
Still light out too.
I know, right? What the hell?
It's past his bedtime. He's got to take his Metamucil and hit the sack.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you later.
Miss you, TJ. Take care, bro.
Study your player's handbook.
You dirty whore.
Read the Ranger chapter.
Seriously.
You only had it for a year.
God damn it. It's a waste of my fucking money.
And Vince, I know. What is it with you like loaning or buying books for your friends and then like not bothering to read the damn things?
I bought them the PDF and sent it to him. Twice. And it's two goddamn fucking pages.
I know.
Sweet dreams.
It's crazy.
It's not, the Ranger stuff is not complicated, and
No,
he's not
it's really
even
not.
to a point where he's got spells yet. So it's not like he
that's
he
not
doesn't even
like
have an
7.
animal companion yet. I mean,
No.
he doesn't have.
He
anything.
should. We should
Maybe-
get him an animal companion.
Yes, maybe it'll be one of those owls.
Ah, the one that
I
almost pecked his face off.
Well, the owl that tried to carry off Bint.
There you go.
Although that's dead.
Yeah. Although
There
it looks like
may-
it's past Bent's bedtime, and he's been
There
yawning
may
the last
be-
half hour.
At least
More
it looks like
giant
at
owls.
least he combed his fucking hair.
Yeah, looking a little sharper there, Ben.
I was about to do a Geek Intel because this is actually a little cool little thing we got going on here.
That's right.
So-
TJ is a good dude.
He goes,
So Minnesota accidentally passed a law.
Is that
Believe it
how
or
they
not.
passed their laws accidentally?
Exactly. So no, what happened was, because people love omnibus bills that are just full of other bills.
mhm.
The Democrats put forth an omnibus bill that the Republicans went with, but the Republicans didn't read the whole thing.
Oh shit!
Because they never do.
Fuck.
So what happened was
That's
on
never
July
good.
1st, edible THC was legalized in Minnesota.
Oh Jesus Christ!
No.
No wonder your hair is all fucked up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no.
No.
Yeah, our famous Amos is baking something other than cookies.
Right.
He's baking his brain.
No,
On
it's
gummies.
actually. I mean, there's a place that's 20 minutes away from where I live that sells it, and
right next to a Taco Bell.
that is.
It's
with
right next to Taco Bell, isn't
Of
it?
course it is.
It's not. It's the thing is I've never had time. I just usually I'll I'm not having it after I've had something to eat.
All right, we have to pull our money
Anyways.
together and get you a treadmill.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
What?
All the snacks you're going to eat and gain weight.
Yeah. Dude, you gotta hit the gym. You don't have to sign up for
damn it.
Drew's hit list,
Right?
man. You are.
We love you, brother. We want to see you cack out because
boy.
your
Oh, yeah.
heart's like.
You want to check out? That's no fun.
Yeah. As what is it? Dean Wormer said, "Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life." although it works for Nick August, so
It does. It does. That's
there's
true.
some benefits. But
Nick, if you're watching,
Nick is an
yes,
exception.
right? That son of a bitch.
Every time I see that damn shirt meme pop up on Twitter, I think of Nick. I keep wanting to send it to Nick, and it's like,
You should
man,
totally send it to
I
him.
just don't know Nick that well.
Well,
do
there's
that.
that. There's that.
Yeah,
Respect.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he a bigger guy? I guess I never picked up on that.
No.
Not really. Yes and no. I mean, he's got some bulk to him, but it's not. He's not. I don't think he's really out of shape.
No.
He's at a bulk phase, essentially.
Well, he used to be a football player. He's got that. He's got that football player.
As did I. I mean,
he's got that football player power lifter build, and he hits the gym here and there. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Awkward
that, yeah,
silence
it's
ensues.
just, you know.
All right, I'm calling it. It's 1 hour and 31 minutes. God damn it. You would contribute to a few bucks a month, getting Amos into Drew's hands. There you go.
We'll get Amos ripped.
Get you ripped. Take about a year or so.
That'd be cool. And we could like post some progress. Like,
Well, maybe not
Right,
ripped in a year, but get lean in a year.
Yeah, like, nice and lean.
I had a girl who, I shouldn't say girl, woman. She was in her early 20s at the time.
She's a
Started
girl.
out at 200, and I think she's 204. She was in the mid 240s. She got down to 117.
Oh,
That's
nice.
awesome.
Holy
And
shit.
it was about 14 months.
How tall
Wow.
was she?
She's short. She might have been, I want to say about 5'1", 5'2", maybe right around there.
Yeah, because I'm like 6'2", and that's
Yeah,
right around my
5'1",
weight.
117 is really good.
Yeah,
for her.
because at 100, at once she must have looked a whole lot better. I bet.
Oh, is it just a completely different person? I mean, you barely. I mean, if you, and I've got a before and after photo over somewhere, but if you see her in the before and after photo and you see the face, and you could tell that it's her still, but just
that's nice.
Night and day difference. When she came in, when she started out, she was about as big around as she was tall. And by the end, and again, I think it's 117 at 5'2". And she's really, really good shape then.
Cool. Good for her.
Well, that's great.
Then she went and got married and had a kid and moved to, I think, Georgia.
Hopefully she doesn't balloon back up.
No, she still works out. I trained her husband for a while too. I think they both do.
Victibus, congratulations. We were hanging out in Gettysburg back in May. You were still looking pretty slim then too, so that's really good. I'm proud of you, brother. Good job. Nice. Awesome. Were you at your worst due to stress? I thought you were. What the fuck happened to Amos? He's like, fuck this weight talk.
Do it. Yeah. Oh no.
You guys drove him away.
He probably had to go do some more gummies. Probably had to pop. He was yawning for the last half hour or so. He was past his bedtime too.
Appreciate that.
That fucking cock Amos. I mean, hey Amos. We thought we drove you away. Cool.
Yeah, it's I try.
Yeah, good job. I bought a few of your products actually. I haven't joined the hit list yet. I do want to join. I think probably this fall to be a part of that and kind of just get myself where I want to be. I don't have a problem with the weight, but I want to put on a little bit more muscle.
Yeah, I plan on picking up the books because they're the only ones. I own at least one of Vince's books. I own a couple of TJ's, and I don't own any of yours yet. And I plan on picking at least one of those up as soon as I can start getting back in. Right now, I've been mainly doing calisthenics and body weight type exercises. Just because it's
literally wrote the best book on body weight exercise.
I've got that.
That's the one I'm eyeing. So there you go.
Yep. Yeah, good stuff.
But I have been taking full advantage of all the free stuff, and that's the cool thing. If you guys aren't taking advantage of all the shit Drew puts out there for free, you're just I don't know what to say for you. I think you're a dumbass.
Cause.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no excuse for it. Yeah, you're just putting out a lot of really good advice, and the man presents the receipts.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Take advantage of it.
And he's a good dungeon master.
Giving the stuff away that you could pay big money at your local gym for and not get nearly the bang for your buck. And he's doing that much for you for free. So if you're not taking advantage of that, you're
that's true. Robert's correct. You're all dumbasses if you don't take it. And he's a great dungeon master when he remembers that he's
when I remember that it's the day of the game. And I was
son of a bitch.
I got my new dice tray and I got all my dice organized by type, ready to go.
Well, you know what the best part about all our games, Drew? You always show up without your headphones.
Yeah.
I just before this one, I had these, and then I went in the kitchen and I made a protein shake. I set the headphones in the counter when I was making the shake, and I walked in with the shake. So I was on the way with the headphones. They were halfway here. But just before this, I ordered a set of Bluetooth headphones. It'll be here tomorrow. So now I will have one just for the desk, because these are the PS5 headphones. So these are like for my son's video game thing. I just grab them and bring them in here when we have this. So I will have a set of headphones
dedicated D&D
headphones. I'll have to decorate them with some D&D-ish stuff,
like some old school D&D stickers.
I'll put some horns on them.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, get some demon horns. All right, everyone. It's an hour and 37 minutes and 22 seconds. Thank you for joining us. Anyone who's listening now, our average listening audience later, I think, is, if I look at the YouTube statistics, is about 20 to 30 minutes, which I think is pretty good as far as like people listening to things later. It could be better, but we'll take what we can get. Thank you for listening. As always, it's a pleasure to talk to everyone on the panel on Masculine Geek, everyone in the chat, either live or watching later, we appreciate it. Hit that like button. Make sure you leave a comment, share, subscribe, obviously. Do all the fun things which are free and cost you nothing other than a few clicks. Mm-hmm. So let's go around the room and do some housekeeping as usual. Robert, where can everyone find you?
Robert Kuzlin on Twitter, Instagram, and other such places, and of course is a member of the Masculine Geek.
Indeed. Amos, how about yourself? You're kind of incognito at the moment, aren't you?
I guess. I mean, just go on Twitter. I mean, it has, my real name is out there now. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So Amos is on. Amos, what's the full Twitter handle?
It's Amos Joe.
Amos Joe. Amos Joe. One word.
Yeah. AMOSJOE. Yep.
There you go. And last but not least, our illimitable Dungeon Master Drew Bay. Where can everyone find you?
Well, if they can remember better than I remembered that I had the session tonight, it's baye.com, BAYE.com, or they can find me on Twitter at baydrew. It's a BAYEDREW.
There we go. All right, cool. All right, so next Wednesday is going to be the 3rd of August. I have no idea what we have in store. It'll be a surprise.
I can run a game if everybody can be here, and this time I will know that I'm DMing and not playing.
Oh, okay. Cool. For August 10th, now we are at the end of the show, and most people listening later, you're not going to hear this, so I don't know why I'm mentioning you fuckers. Everyone who's here now, all 3 of you or 4 of you, on August 10th, Jack Napier and Rob Says is flying in to visit me.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And we're hanging out in Philadelphia. It's more or less a private event. We're not doing any kind of meetup. We're just all hanging out. It's the Masculine Geek Wolfpack Adventure. We'll be hanging out, doing the tour of the city, talking to the ladies, drinking, smoking cigars, just having a good time. We will not have a live show. There will be a recorded show, a Masculine Geek recorded show, probably on that Sunday night before, which I guess that would put that at the 7th, August 7th. So Jack and Rob will be joining us for Masculine Geek on that Sunday. That will premiere. Cool. That'll be private, and that will premiere on that Wednesday, because Rob and Jack fly in late afternoon, early evening on that Wednesday. I have no intentions of doing any kind of Masculine Geek broadcast on that Wednesday. It's just too much.
I was going to say, you're going to call it Village by the Bell?
Village by the what?
By the Bell?
By the Village by the Benjamin. We will be in Old City predominantly for the most part.
That's where the Liberty Bell is, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I rented it. I rented a townhouse, an Airbnb townhouse, in an undisclosed location in Old City. I'll probably do with my phone and my Wi-Fi card. We could probably do some broadcasts live on the streets of Philly, straight from YouTube on my phone. We'll see. Village by the Crack House. I would say, yeah, Northeast Philly, Mictobus, absolutely. But where we're at, not too many crack houses. At least not publicly known crack houses. Bacon wants us to do fast food. Well, there's a problem with fast food reviews next Wednesday. We don't really eat fast food for the most part, so that would kind of fall flat. But hey, totally not a selling point. What are you referring to?
I think it was because it's not a private event. It's not a public meetup thing.
It's not, but that's just it. I'm just flexing at the moment. It's basically me saying that is this.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just gonna go hang out with these cool people. You're not invited.
No matter how much alcohol you bring with you, you can't come.
You can't come. I even said that in the tweet. I was like, "We're doing the blah blah, and you're not invited." So no, it's not a public meet. So there. Fentanyl by the sea. Fentanyl by the river. I know we're gonna get some photos and maybe some live video of Jack by the what do you call it? The statue at the art museum. The boxer Rocky, the Rocky statue. Okay. That was a request. That was the specific request by Jack.
That's where he wears like regular
shoes. Oh. Here we go. That makes more sense now.
This is true. Well, I'll tell you, Old City. If we really want, it depends on the variety of women. If we want a good variety, we're gonna have to go into like Fishtown or maybe up into Manayunk or whatnot. But Old City has some really good, what I call, now it's escaping the moment because I'm old and I'm tired. Goofy sexy chicks. Because when Rob and James and TJ were out at the Village by the Sea this past year, we were in Old City at a restaurant, the Old Bar, and the women passing by was just like, it was a buffet. It was a beautiful buffet. So Rob turned to me. He's like, I would come back here. Yeah. I'm like, well, we're going to make that happen. So that's...
I'm just thinking of all the jokes with picking up chicks in Fishtown. I mean, they almost write themselves, Vince.
Well, there'll be cool jokes about that, absolutely. Yeah. And Manayunk is like an interesting place. There's a couple cool pizza places we can go to and bars. So it'll be cool. There'll be photos, and we'll be showing off a little bit. And you'll probably see a few impromptu either. Twitter streams or a YouTube stream from my phone, but I'm not even taking a laptop with me.
No time.
I'm aware of that, Mictobus. A lot of my stable consists of Philly chicks. There's definitely some nuance there. I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried, especially us being visitors, as it were. So it'll be good.
I had a Philly chick live with me for about a year, so yeah, it's interesting.
Here's the deal. All women are crazy. Pick one or two.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's what's in store for the next 2 weeks. Look for Jack and Rob and I the 5th or the 10th. But next week we'll do something. Maybe we'll even play if Drew can remember.
I will remember. I was excited to play tonight. I'm thinking, I've been having so much fun. We get our games, and then I'm doing the Jeff Rose campaign on Thursdays, and my brother and some friends, the guys we played with when we were kids in the 80s, were playing on Sunday nights, and so I'm
so what night aren't you playing D?
Yeah, Monday.
Well, it's Monday, and so I got Wednesdays with you guys, and then every Thursday and every Sunday with the other games. So 3 out of the 4 nights usually playing D&D. And when I'm not playing D&D, if my wife and I don't have other plans and I'm not doing some stuff with my son, I've been working on just I showed you guys the Google Doc before. I'm transferring everything to that World Anvil world building thing, but getting the layout together, starting to work on a rough map. I figure I'm starting very, very sparse continent map and focusing more on one region, then I'll build it out as the campaign goes. But I mentioned before, as I'm putting together all this campaign stuff, I keep thinking I want to write some stories. I've been wanting to do that for a while. I've been procrastinating on it. So I'm already, wheels are turning, and I'm just, if I have an idea for a story, I just write down notes real quick so I don't forget it. And I want to do some very post-apocalyptic, sword and sorcery, weird horror stuff. So that's the idea.
All right, cool. All right, gentlemen. We went through the housekeeping. That's fantastic.
I love the music.
And you like that music? It's good stuff. All right, we're going to jack it up.
New MG theme song.
There you go.